is that, in terms of the ramifications of this match, the winner of it basically gets a bye week, and they advance to um, the winners bracket semifinals, and the loser will be facing you next week.
Is that right? I should have checked the schedule. I should also note to everyone that we have already begun. There was a very rapid start. We had a little bit of a slow...
Angel Ring's a nice early find, that's for sure.
Starting job Summoner, probably the best... Very well could be the best job in the game as long as you get some good summons. It's really easy to be really powerful with Summoner. So the runners have to be happy to see that.
There's Sylph as our first summon.
Not a particularly useful one there, but it's something. It could kill maybe the first boss. Ooh, and Chemist Crystal also in Tycoon Castle. Really some nice early power that's going to help with the entire rest of the run. Let's see what our first hint is. It looks like over on Mal's side he's about to get it. Boulder Branch World 1. Not very specific, but it's something.
And also hoping we don't need it.
So you know that Boulder Branch is required on those seeds that require Fork Tower, which lots of people try and avoid.
Exactly. We hope we don't need it.
See about that one. Okay, so Mal headed to the Pirate Cave, another pretty typical early looting location. Let's see what we get there.
I mean, hey, it's almost as if you were playing the vanilla game with a lot of really powerful items.
Yeah, that's what the opening sometimes looks like until they start going to World 2 way ahead of time and things like that. Rune Edge is an okay weapon. Personally, I like to sell it because it does not take spell blades. Haste spell. Haste is the best status in the game, so you're always happy when you find haste.
And Shiva is a considerably more useful summon than Sylph, so
already with two summons, that's
once
not
we
bad
start getting to boss fights.
Absolutely, it's a great start to have a couple summons and the summoner itself. Ooh, ninja available. Alastair, a little short on money, but might sell something to get it. I think probably what's happening right now is they are writing down that ninja is for sale here. Let's see if they end up actually buying it or not. Ninja has been bought. A nice fast job. The sort of meta lately has been to find where javelins are sold in World 1 because javelins are super cheap and also quite strong, and then throw them at bosses to instant kill them with your fast ninja. See if that happens.
So since I'm not as familiar with Rando, did they start with like 10,000 gil, or did they just find a chest with that much already and I missed it?
I don't think they start with any gil, but there's plenty of places where you can loot. The whole sort of early game here is going to be a lot of looting, and buying things, checking shops. So there is sometimes a shortage of money. Mughal Waterway holds sandworm bait. I'm going to write that down as a hint.
Yeah, I was just surprised they dug up quite that much gil already to be able to afford the 10,000 gil ninja.
Yeah, the loot in the racing flags is juiced up a little over default. So you're going to find good things. You're going to find decent amounts of money. You might have to sell something good if you want to buy something that's expensive in a shop. There is, money management. It's not too harsh, I wouldn't say. Rune Edge is, yep. No, Mal didn't sell it, but Rune Edge sells for a lot. I don't love it as a weapon, so that's an option if see if our players take that. Under scrolls are nice for ninja. All the scrolls really for ninja, and if you learn throw, you can even throw scrolls as a mage and do some really nice damage with them as well. And even boosted by like a wizard rod or some other elemental rod can increase the scroll throw damage. A ninja being very versatile with throwing javelins, which we haven't seen yet, or throwing scrolls or other weapons. So they've got elements covered and physical damage covered,
And
depending on what they find to buy.
We just found the dancer class in Karnak. That's always nice to get sword dance.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of good spells popping up here on the different screens. It's a little bit hard to follow. Early in the seed is probably the hardest part for us in terms of trying to keep track of everything, but lots of good things. Mute sword, equipped swords. Our players are just snapping up all of this useful stuff that they might need later in the seed. French page world 2, that was the Karnak hint. I could be wrong, but I'm trying to note who is getting what hint. I feel like Mal has found more hints than Alastair has so far, but it's possible I was just looking away and missed it. Alastair looks like he's there getting the librarian hint at Surgate Castle here in just a moment. So at least I'll have one of those written down. That's new to us. Talk to the librarian, follow her to the back room, and she says, 4th tablet, world 3.
Okay, won't be seeing that for a bit.
Right. And the night job was found. I did see that. Thanks, Z-Man. But I didn't mention it. Night can be nice for, equipping those knight swords, but I also saw the equipped swords ability, which allows any class to equip them as well. So, you don't complain when you get knight for free. Mal is going to the Hiryu Valley, probably just looting it, and might check the boss. It's unlikely that he can defeat the boss, but it might be possible.
And Alastair's already turning in that first tablet, checking what is in the sealed castle.
Yes, this is important to look carefully at what's here and choose wisely. Nice things, ×6. You want that paired with something like Meteo, like a nice little combo between two things.
X-Fight looked pretty nice.
X-Fight is always nice. And getting it early can be powerful as long as you get a nice, strong weapon to go with it. I might take that X-Fight if I was Alastair.
Well, Alastair skipped right by it on the second go-round.
Well, we have Summoner and now we have Leviathan, so that's good. ×6 is a great choice because now you've got any time spell, and we already know that our players have haste and took X-Fight. I think those are three.
Okay, there we go.
Those probably were the three I would have taken as well.
And the
Mal's
wolves
about to grab a hint right here.
I was about to say the wolves of Kelb just had black 2. Waltz Tower Key in World 1.
That is a little bit vague. When you get a whole world, it's not very specific. But yeah, no Path of the Void hints. Those are the specific ones that we like. So as of now, our racers are still, they don't really know very much yet. probably going to be a sort of standard clear the bosses in relatively vanilla order unless one of these hints starts coming through soon for us. Mal is entering Bal Castle, probably going to loot it and get a hint there. Oh, going for the fight. Again, this could be an easy cheese fight for a lot of experience, or it could just be a quick reset if it's a difficult fight.
Has Mal equipped much of anything yet? Oh, Guardian.
Ooh,
If you
front
have some,
row is not working out. Then you could use, if I don't think Mal has the MP to actually use Leviathan, which is his strong summon, so he's just going to loot and come back later, but he knows what's there. The 4 Guardian crystals. He'll probably take them out later.
And even something like Shiva, which we know the runners already have, could be useful there.
Sure, yeah, it's a 2,500 hit point location, and it's split 4 ways among those crystals, so you need to do, a little over 625 points of damage to each one.
Oh, there we go. Wall Speed, you're on the path to the void. You were saying you wanted a path to the void hint.
Yes, thank you. That is a great one because that's a pretty easy fight. It only has 1,500 hit points, and certainly maybe after like just an initial Wind Shrine victory, runners could go there and get a free key item that they know is required. Beacon Knife Brave Blade check for Alastair. Sildra, I would keep that with a summoner start. Very nice. Sildra is a very, very powerful summon. Mal doing the Moat check, getting a double lance, which is pretty nice on a ninja. But I think it was actually only... Oh, he does have ninja, and he's going for it right now. Very good. That's a little bit of power there outside of throwing something, which I have not seen those javelins yet that I mentioned earlier. They may or may not be easily available to the runners. Pretty sure Mal has still not gone to the... Oh, a Wonder Rod. Mostly useful for selling, but you could hang on to it for a little while. It gives a small magic boost. Equip swords. Ooh, Break Blade, of course. We already saw this stuff from Alastair's side, but it's nice to see it again and remind myself that...
And it's certainly nice to know where the shop selling Phoenix Downs is.
That's extremely important. They're expensive in this game compared to, say, Final Fantasy IV, where they're really cheap. So you want a decent amount, and you might even have to come back later to buy more because they cost 1,000 gold each. But you definitely need them from time to time. You don't want to be stuck without any.
Oh my, Alastair is fighting Shote here.
Going for the Shiva, only need to do 250 damage. It's going to be close. Is it enough? Not enough, but that's okay. You can do it again. You'll win on the second. Okay, going for a reset instead.
Yeah, I don't think they had any. I don't think they had any golden needles.
Right, they're called soft potions in this patch, but absolutely, gold needles, same thing. And so you can win that fight and just have 2 people who are stoned, but those people don't get the experience. So it depends. That's up to the player whether they are okay with that. Alastair would rather do another fight first. Don't blame them. Yeah, I think Z-Man, I have that one noted, but thanks for the reminder. 4th tablet is in World 3. I saw someone get that hint earlier. So we know that there will be a World 3 check that has to be done, at least one. Ooh, no, we don't like to see Stalker. This is rough. He's a fleet on Path of the Void, I just saw. That is huge. Another really useful hint. So Stalker is really, really, really rude. Only one real, well, they're all real at the start of the fight, but you don't want to use AoE because they counter with Blaze, which would kill this team. You have to do single target damage, and then once you hit one with single target damage, it changes position randomly. So that Chocobo there hit, but it did not hit the real one. So you're kind of just blindly casting Chocobo, hoping to hit the right one here. Pretty rough.
There it was that last one. The only one they haven't attacked.
And 650 hit points means it's not going to be over all that quickly either. So this could be pretty rough. I think maybe going for the early shoat win any way that you can get it would have been better than getting a little bit stuck a long Stalker fight, but we'll see. Al now is headed to Kuza Castle for the first time.
Let's see what he takes. I'm guessing probably also X-Fight.
Yeah, we'll see. We can compare between the two racers. I assume Alastair just reset, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so might be time to think about Shoat again. Or more shopping and hints.
Yeah, I don't think Alastair's been to Karnak yet, and there was quite a bit there that we saw from Mal's side.
Those are some great spells right there. Sleep, Aqua Rake, Death Claw, all really good. Mal is having a little bit of trouble deciding what he wants to take from here. This fight is a yes.
Very indecisive about that Judgment Staff.
Yeah, Judgment Staff is nice because it can cast Dispel when used as an item, but it's a little bit niche for so early. But darn, I missed the third thing that he grabbed. I'm guessing it was either Leviathan or ×6. Probably Leviathan with that Summoner Star.
From the location, I think it was ×6. I didn't see the name go up, but I seem to remember that location was ×6.
Yeah, and people
chat's confirming
that. Yep. Thanks, chat. So maybe because Mal was doing commentary in the previous race, and Leviathan early was also in that race, and it was good. But there was some early bosses that were absorbing the water element. Maybe Mal thought it wasn't as great. Trench Page 2 did I see that?
It doesn't sound familiar. Mal must have gotten it because Mal did Karnak pretty thoroughly. I just don't remember seeing it.
Yes, he did. I wrote it down. I just forgot. Trench Page World 2.
Karnak on the Path to the Void. Now that's interesting.
Karnak.
I don't remember what we got in Karnak.
That means the Karnak Escape, which is the when the countdown happens and the castle.
Yeah, when it's all on fire.
Where was that location that gave that hint?
I'm sorry, I missed it already.
Okay, that's all right. I'll just put it in somewhere. Our chat can help us out. I looked to... Okay, so Alastair's going again for the Stalker fight. 3...
And Mal's in the Wind Shrine, so he's gonna find Shoat. Let's see how he handles the fight.
Another
Alistair just
reset.
death warping. Yeah.
This is a rough fight for trying to pull it off on your very first fight. See what happens next. North Mountain, after checking Carwen Town, could be the move for Alastair right now. Okay, now Mal has X fight versus Shote. Does he have the power to win? I think so. He's two-handed here. He's going to get 8 attacks. And
two-handed then. Yes, definitely.
Only has to add up to 250, and it never misses.
Yeah.
Shote is just slow to die like that for some reason. I don't know exactly why.
Sorry, I couldn't remember if Shote was a 250 location or a 650 location.
Yeah. Next,
we only got a flame whip for our troubles.
Yeah, so no key item at the wind shrine, but we're going to get these 6 crystal shards, and usually you get at least a couple nice things out of that. That gold hairpin is going to come in really handy for summoners if they're spamming high-level expensive magic. And yeah, the flame whip is nice. Most of us prefer it, like Vaughn said, for money, for selling it. But you can also
I think that's actually like the second flame whip we found.
Could be. It tends to pop up fairly often. Early on, even. By the way, that's the legendary whip in vanilla. It's just that it's not one of the better legendary items, really. It's not bad. Certainly if you need fire, it's great, but it's only a 1/3 chance to proc fire 3. It can be a bit inconsistent, and it doesn't do any paralysis for you, which is something that people like whips for. Alright, so Mal wants to use Sildra but doesn't have the MP, so he's also running into this issue of early game Stalker being a problem. You know, maybe the thing to do is actually turn on encounters and do some beef grind at the Wind Shrine just to get a few levels and enough MP to destroy Stalker with Sildra.
Yeah, it shouldn't even take that many levels. There's just not that many bosses right now. So yeah, as you were saying, might take some random encounters.
Now, did Mal just put the gold hairpin on, or is he about to? That might be enough to make things work. I didn't see his MP total. I think you need to have the MP to cast it at base, though. It's just that the usage of MP is cut in half by gold hairpin. Going for X fight. I don't think it's going to be enough, but to kill outright, but it's going to help. Yeah, that's a good point, Vaughn. If you already have Sildra, Leviathan isn't as high of a priority. Great Trench was the 3rd tablet. Very nice.
Yeah, that is not a hint we'd seen before.
That means that there are tablets in World 3. This is a little bit more of a second half focused seed. Oof. Stalker just wiped Mal with, was that Blaze or Mind Blast?
It was Blaze.
Yeah, the AoE counter, Blaze, and it's too much for these low-level teams at the moment, so both racers sort of having trouble there, trying to get rolling, checking other spots instead, which is totally understandable. When they go back, they're going to want to one-shot Stalker and get it over with quickly. Kaiser Knuckles found on North Mountain. Those are pretty darn good on a monk, but most of us don't love monk that much, so we end up selling Kaiser Knuckles. But they give some nice stats too, and lots of people can equip them as an accessory. We'll see. Okay, so Alastair has turned on encounters, is using Shiva. This is going to be an easy, quick in. Easy way to grind. And some levels already have been gained.
Oh, and we got
easy
nice, easy. X-Fight should make very short work of them.
Yep, these are about the most unthreatening boss fight in the whole game, I'd say. So,
I mean, the only thing is you kind of like to see them later in the game so that they're, replacing a more difficult boss.
Absolutely, yep. But as you can see, these wolves here aren't really doing much damage. Some nice healing from Sylph. Rare footage of Sylph being useful. This fight definitely will be over shortly. Okay, Alastair is now going for round 2 with Shote. See what happens this time. Throwing something. Shuriken, that'll do the trick.
Oh yeah, almost doubly.
Ninja throws are really good. Some of them are a little more expensive than others, like the Shuriken, but when that's all you've got, kind of nice to just get it out of the way. Plus now you have the Shote summon once you activate it from your menu, and Shote is really good. It actually can one-shot a bunch of bosses in this game.
And meanwhile, Mal just gained a few levels from that guard fight.
Excellent.
I have to say, though, I take exception with Alastair using the Bart's name rather than the Butts name.
Well, you can name him anything you want. I usually just do some variation on Butts, but some people are big fans of the GBA version, the later versions of this game, and
I know. Basically,
I would say it's got a nice script.
Basically, every later release uses Bart's, but I played the original SNES hack, so I'm used to Butts.
Me too. I am pretty happy with it was the GBA that really had a good script that really spiced things up for this game, and so I enjoy that version quite a bit as well, even when it's Bart's. Mal grabbing a bunch of antidotes, I think I saw, in order to prepare for some mixing later on.
And
it's
meanwhile,
part of the level mix combo.
Stalker is just mind blasting Alastair to bits there.
Yeah, there's a high chance that Stalker opens with Mind Blast, so what you're looking to do is to throw something strong at Stalker, kill it right away, and even then, Stalker is so rude that if it takes a while to die, and sometimes it gets in attacks even after the one is dead. It's a very, very rude boss. It doesn't check how many pieces are left all that often, I guess, or something. So even when there's only 3, sometimes they will attack anyway, even though it's supposed to be dead when it's less than 4. Ooh, Sandworm. Do we have any water scrolls? I don't think so. This is where you would like to have Leviathan, but instead Shurikens will have to do the trick.
We got Thunder Scrolls. It's not exactly the same thing.
Leviathan is effective damage, but Sildra should be good enough damage to clear this location without too much trouble. There you go. That one was boosted by the Wizard Rod, I believe. Lena's Sildra there doing over 1,000 damage.
And that's like 7 levels per character.
Yes, Sandworm does give nice experience. And the bracelet has been given.
Well, they did say Waltz Meteor was on the path to the void.
All right, so it has paid off. Good to have that under your belt. A nice start to getting access to Exodus Castle. NPCs are in Mal's way. There you go. Mal going for some more Phoenix Downs because in a way you can almost you can have too many, but early on you can't afford very many, so it's one of those things you'd like as many as you can get without, spending all of your money on them. I think I saw Shote is still sitting in Mal's inventory. I hope that he remembers to use it so he'll have it available for future boss fights. Easy to forget some of those summons that have to be activated by using the item.
So now Mal's getting that third tablet in the trench hint.
Alastair is also in Waltz Castle. They're both going for the same check here. Another 1,500 hit point check. The Shiva location in vanilla, you can see it's a snowflake-shaped room. That's your hint that there's an icy boss there in vanilla. Antlion is weak to water. Good call, Alastair. This could do quite a bit. Oh, one shot. There you go.
Oh. But it still escapes.
Yeah, that's a tough one to kill outright. You have to do funky counter kill or something.
Well, we'll see what Mal tries on it.
Big bridge key. Okay. Mal's damage should add up to enough. Just enough. Oh, just short, actually. He's very
Apparently
close.
not.
Very close. Mughal Water... Oh, is that what's going to happen right now? Let's see. Mughal Waterway is 5,000. I'm sorry?
What was the hint about what Mughal Waterway leads to?
Mughal Waterway has the sandworm bait.
Ah, thank you.
Okay, so Mal is through the antlion fight and also gets the big bridge key. Don't know if that is required or anything from what I recall, but it could be handy later. Alastair's going for Mughal Waterway. This is a 5,000 hit point location, so they're probably looking for some sort of summoner cheese to win this fight. Or if they have enough things to throw at Carlbos here, maybe they can win that way. There's no cheese available for this boss. It's heavy. The only thing that kills it outright is level 5 Doom, and Alastair does not have that. But, maybe some Shivas might be enough if you can stay on your feet long enough. Sorry, some Sildras. Did I say Shiva? I meant Sildras.
Well, there's Sildra in any case.
Yeah. All right, so a little less than 1,000, so it's going to be 6 Isildras, although Lena does the most.
Still 800 from Galuf.
It looks doable to me with 3 summoners. They all stay up.
Then the question...
Mal's fighting Greg 4, which is a kind of a tough fight.
The question is, do you want to resurrect Butts so he can get the experience?
It's okay to have mismatched levels in this game. I don't mind that too much. Now you might have to resurrect him just because you're just going to start running out of MP soon. It's actually sort of a good thing sometimes to have mismatched levels so that level-based spells don't wipe your party.
Shiva not doing much damage there to Carlibos.
Elder Branch was given at the Tycoon Meteor, right?
There we go. Now Alastair is reviving Bard, who hopefully can get a spell off.
Yeah, this is close. I feel like we're inching up on the required damage, but Carlibos is being very rude, and it's gonna have to be a reset. Unfortunate. Alastair has info though. They can just reload and maybe come back there later with level 5 Doom and instantly kill the boss.
Meanwhile, Mal's already at level 17 and is checking out another meteor here.
Yeah, Mouse looks to be clearing meteors. I think this is the 3rd or 4th one already. Must be the 3rd. Tyrannosaurus, which is no big deal usually. You can use a Phoenix down. As long as it hits, I don't want to curse it. This can miss, but worked. There you go.
Nice and
14,000
easy.
experience.
A lot of levels. And Alastair is now in that Gilgamesh battle that we just saw Mal in.
Steamship Key. Okay, nice find for Mal. That was the Karnak meteor, I assume. Yes. Oh. I haven't seen anything too call World 1. I'm pretty sure I already have that one written down. Have a victory over Gilgamesh 4 by Alastair, getting that Elder Branch as well. Also the Tycoon Meteor. Mal going for Steamship Key early. Visiting the steamship early when you have it. There's a lot of loot in here, and there's 2 checks, and you also know that Karnak escape is required, and that happens after you beat the steamship boss. They're sort of connected in that way, so I think this is a great choice of where to go. Also, I see on Alastair's side that javelins are for sale. I didn't notice if they bought some.
I just always hated the steamship, though, because for whatever reason, it was one of those locations where I just could not mentally process the map.
Oh, it's terrible. It's like the worst designed ship you would ever enter. I don't enjoy looting it, but I just think it's the right call in this race at this moment to go there. And really just to get to Karnak escape is sort of the reason, but it's early in the seed, you probably want to loot it too. Yeah, that's right. Like Pyromance says in the chat here, even if you know exactly where to go in the steamship, it takes a while. It's tedious. But,
I mean, this is when it's really nice to have random encounters turned off. In the vanilla game, it drove me even crazier because you're doing this and fighting random enemies the whole way.
Yeah, and they've got, they're already inflicting status effects like blind and things like that on you, which is really annoying. Ooh, Minotauros. Okay, so there's not going to be any summoning allowed, but I think you can animals. Maybe you should be able to use animals. Oh, X fight with the rune edge coming through on butts. A couple rounds of that. I think you need to do 3,300 damage total to take out this boss. So. And he's not hitting super hard or anything, so this will work just with relying on the knight. By the way, these hits do eat up some MP in order to do extra damage, but knight doesn't really use much MP anyway, so it works out okay. And you're rewarded by getting blasted with holy. Sorry, butts. Minnow got his revenge on you. Nothing too special from the steamship, just a double lance, but access to the Karnak Escape. Now, this is where the really good loot did show up. And a key item for beating the boss at the end. I agree that keeping that rune edge did help out Mal quite a bit. I personally like rolling with ninja early instead, but you need to find the right stuff to throw with it, or even attack with it, or else it's not that great. Alastair taking on Apocalypse. This must be at the catapult location. 2,000 hit points and pretty high magic defense, so it's probably going to take a few Leviathans to finish it. Just
not that many.
Only 2. Looks like it's going to be enough.
And hey, all 4 party members will survive this time.
Excellent. They need the levels pretty bad, so...
Oh, definitely. I noticed some of them were still single digit.
Alright, another one down. Meanwhile, Mal does have to deal with up to 3 fights, monster in a box fights.
Hey, Alastair got a ribbon for their trouble from that, too.
Ribbon is a nice thing to have. Sometimes you end up selling it because it's so valuable money-wise, but if you can keep it to the end, it's a nice asset to have.
And we also have the equip ribbon ability.
Yes, very nice. I would be going for something like Freelancer, wearing the ribbon without having to use an ability slot in like the mid to late game. But if you really need it bad, Shoat has already been eliminated, but ribbon makes you immune to Shoat's stone counters, or an enemy like that. It might be worth using the equip ribbon ability just for one fight early.
I was just thinking over on Mal's side, he got the Ice Rod, and if this were AL2 DPR, that would be really exciting.
I love rods in Final Fantasy V too. The Ice Rod from Link to the Past, right?
Yeah.
Ice Rod is good in this too. It boosts Sildra, or you can just break it for Ice 3. Or, boost some sort of ice spell. Notice that Mal picked up Golem as well, which is really nice, and Bone Mail, which is not so nice. Probably going to sell that as soon as possible.
Oh, and now Alistair's going after Leviathan, and going after Sandworm, but having Leviathan, this should be piece of 3,000 damage. Yeah.
Very nice damage there. Okay, activating Shoat and Golem over on Mal's side. These summoners are just becoming more and more powerful as we proceed through the seed. Okay, Alastair has the bracelet, so they have evened up the race in a way, if we're just looking at key items. Egg 2 at the exit, you don't mind seeing him here because this is a really low hit point location. I think it's only like 900 hit points. He will do his jump, his buff up and jump, and someone will get. He'll land on them, but then he will die. So it's not so bad. This team should have. Everybody looks like they have enough health to survive a jump.
Yep. And there's the submarine key, which we definitely will need to get to the trench.
That's a required item, because we got the hint saying that the Karnak escape was required.
Right. Well, we know that, what is it, the third tablet's in the trench, I think?
So yeah, it probably refers to that. Ooh, nice X zone, faxing Tyrannosaurus to another dimension. But it's also possible that there's many other places you can go with the sub, so it's possible that could be another separate chain that also happens to require going somewhere else underwater. Yes, trench is on the path. Let me check and see what hint I have.
I'm pretty sure it's third tablet.
That is correct. Trench has the third tablet.
So just to address chat, this is a 16-person double elimination tournament. So the first couple of weeks, almost no one gets eliminated, so everyone's still playing. So
yeah, that's why we've been busy early on in the tournament. Things are going to ease up starting next week.
In fact, the winners of these winners bracket matches get a bye next week.
That's right. Stalker still being rude, using a little mind blast here. You don't enjoy seeing that, but you also kind of like to learn Mind Blast if you can win the fight. Yes, that's true, Vaughn. I was informed of that. I didn't realize it myself until this race began that I will be playing the loser of this match here. Okay, Mal has one down. All he has to do is survive while Stalker does Stalker things and eventually realizes that the fight is over.
I hate these rude bosses who don't realize when they're defeated.
Look at that. Tried to hurricane. So rude. Meanwhile, HP is ticking down, but okay, it worked out. And Mal learns Mind Blast for his troubles, gets the Hear You Call, which I believe is required.
And Alastair's like, yeah, now you tell me about Walt's meteor on the path to the void. I think I figured that out for myself.
Yes, because the Ziza fleet is Path of the Void. You absolutely must get Hear You Call, which means you must defeat Stalker at the canal. And I think only Mal has done that now so far. So there's a bit of an advantage for him. Sorry, can you guys hear my cat? I apologize. He's being kind of loud. Usually he's pretty quiet and respectful, but I think that there must have been a neighborhood cat outside that he saw. Okay, so that's 3 of the 4 pistols down, and Mal can probably just use Sildra to take out the last one. That works. Going for X-Zone instead, which does not have a very good hit rate. Try Sildra. There you go.
Yeah, I think that was enough damage.
Sorry, did I say Mal? I meant to say Alastair, of course, who's doing the Crystal Guardians fight.
Well, Mal is doing the ship graveyard. Oh, go, nice and easy. Coffee break.
Now, this location only has about 850 hit points, so you could use a big summon and save a lot of time. A big damage summon. Leviathan might be enough. Sildra? Yeah, boosted Sildra would do it. I think Lena's got the Wizard Rod, or maybe that's on Alastair's side. I would go for it. Mal is going for it. Is it going to be enough?
Sildra, in fact, as you were thinking.
I think we need 850. Oh yeah, 1500, plenty. Well done. That's some time saved over... Oh, false page. Okay. Yeah, so Go-Go, if you can one-shot Go-Go, it's a nice way to save some time and get a ton of ability points out of it. 200, I believe.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that was more than if you simply let Go quit.
Well, you get the same amount either way. It's just the time save is
okay.
really nice. Yeah. And because we have 4 times rewards turned on, and Go gives 50 ability points in vanilla, so it becomes really huge in the randomizer.
Oh, and Mal's now back to that Bal Castle battle.
Should go a lot more smoothly this time.
Went smoothly enough for Alastair.
You need to get through the first round without dying because the crystals are fast. After that, should work out pretty well. You can use Sildra followed by maybe Titan. Back is going to absorb the wind damage from Sildra here. You need to go with some other element to finish off that last one.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mal committed Lena to Sildra already in case the first attack wasn't enough.
Will finish things for Mal. And getting the same reward that we just saw Alastair get, which I think is the Lamia Tiara. Nothing too special here. So the racers are still searching Worlds 1 and 2 for that anti-barrier. Is it just me, or didn't both racers get the bracelet? I only see one
they do. They do
so
both have the
Get
bracelet.
that a little help from our tracker Z-Man. Bracelet on both runners, I believe. Unless for some reason there was like a reset, but I'm pretty sure Alastair would have gone back and gotten it again. There's Shote being useful, taking out Siren.
Wow.
Kill.
Very efficient.
That was Hiryu Valley, which has a lot of hit points, so you don't want to drag that fight out. That's a nice quick win. Nothing special there, but it's another boss down.
And we've already got our level into the mid-20s.
Yeah, that's this team, as long as you've got enough MP, you've got Golem, you've got some strong summons, you can beat X-Death in the low 20s. So mostly we're looking for that anti-barrier. Now Mal knows that this fight right here on the fleet is required. Panda is rude. This is not going to be an easy fight. That is my prediction.
Better to get a panda out of the way earlier.
Yes. Hopefully the wind slashes won't be too strong, because my gosh, wind slash a panda can really hurt. I'm a little bit worried for Mal here, but maybe he'll be able to pull it off.
How many HP in this location?
This is a funky one. I'm going to have to look this one up. On the fleet, I have written down 15.7 thousand.
Ooh. And
Yeah, that's kind of a lot.
That X fight had done about 1,000, well, 2,000, and then a panda used armor, and now it's only taking 1,000.
Yep. A panda has a very common armor counter, also a very common brain counter, which really keeps you on your heels. It's a really rude boss. There are some strategies to get on, but they aren't really available to our racers at this point. So,
Wow, we're actually using Sylph here.
that's some healing. I mean, it's going to make this fight take a while, but if that's the only source of healing that you have, it's better than nothing.
And Faris immediately takes a KO anyway.
Okay, now 4 summoners versus Minotauros is not going to work, but that's not too much time lost. Alastair will reset back to the save point and change up the party. Level 26 is a nice number.
Yeah, unless you get hit with some random level 2 magic, which I think it's just old, right? Is the only level.
Yeah, level 2 old
level
could hit
2
you
spell.
at that level, but we don't see that much in the randomizer. I think only Apocalypse really would use that as a boss. Yes, a panda can be berserked, and that is with a combination of Golem and berserking a panda. That's a nice way to do it. A panda can also be blinded, but probably going to use something like a darkness bow for that, which is not very common. And then you can try and dispel a panda, but it's better if you have the white magic itself rather than the judgment staff to do it, because then he could just counter your item dispel and re-armor himself. Okay, so that's a reset for Mal. Really tough fight, but this we know is required, and it might be guarding the anti-barrier. So it's possible that we might really need something against a panda. I'm thinking about, yes, Mute Spellblade, and I know that we bought that. Mute Spellblade will shut down the armor and the drain counters on a panda, and then all you have to really worry about is the attacks and the wind slashes. So that's probably the way that I would go with this team. If you happened to have mix ready, which I don't think either of our runners do, you can do a berserk mix onto a panda, but I don't think we've got that up and rolling. So I think Mute Spellblade strats would be the way to go.
And meanwhile, it
looks
like Alastair's going to take on Minotauros with 3 ninjas and a knight.
That'll work. Pure physical instead of pure magical. Not particularly high on the hit points here. 3,300 damage, I believe, will do it. Throw something. Throw some things at the boss and watch it die.
Well, that's most of its HP right there with that shuriken.
And this will be the rest. That one was all that was needed, was one forged katana throw. Again, the person who defeats Minnow happens to be the person who dies to Holy. But there's a pot right in the next section, so we don't even care. Gonna get full restoration. Okay, 4 summoners again for Mal. We need to see what secondary abilities he might have that could help with this. Certainly hasting everyone is helpful. You have to watch out for these counters too. Bring up Golem for sure. Don't see Mute Spellblade in the cards, so this could be a little rough. Alastair is going with a couple chemists, working on getting mix, knowing that the next fight is going to be an easy one. I think that's a pretty good idea. Also, you're getting a few monster in a box fights along the way too, which should be easy wins. You can try White Magic Mute. It's not as consistent We have white magic mute is the question. I haven't spotted that.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing it.
I see white. I didn't see if mute was available in that list.
So what did we get from the Karnak escape? The submarine key at the end?
The Karnak escape had the subkey. That's right. No mute. No mute for Mal, so that's not even an option. The Sildra does nice damage. If you don't run out of MP, this will eventually work. A panda's count using like an armor counter does not reduce Sildra damage, so eventually you'll get there if you've got enough MP. It's just going to be really annoying with these drain counters.
And that's Mal's last Phoenix down.
That's a tough thing to face in this fight, not having a lot of Phoenix downs. He'll definitely need to remember to go buy more if he gets through this. Man, those drains are so rude. He does have mute. Sorry, I thought someone said no. Again, the chance to hit level 59 a panda who has some magic evade 2 with mute is, I mean, try it. Spellblade actually lasts longer, the duration of mute, so the Spellblade is better for that reason too. I'm not sure, Pyromance. There is scaling. Are you looking at the scaling spreadsheet, or are you looking at vanilla? Okay, so if it's scaled, 23 isn't too bad, considering that it's sort of just only a mid-game location.
Okay. Mal really spamming Thunderstorm now.
I don't blame
Should
him.
only
He's
take
got
a
good
couple
barrel
more.
going for mute, but it missed.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, when you run out of MP for Sildra, you might as well try and hit with mutes at that point. Seems like maybe a worthwhile.
And Mal's really at the going for broke point now.
You know, if you've got scan, it might even be worth checking how many hit points a panda has left to see how close you are. If you've lost track. It's a little bit hard to keep track when the damage is being mitigated by drain counters. But I'm actually liking Mal's chances. I think he's getting close. And this could be a key fight if this has anti-barrier.
There we go.
Yes, let's see what item this gives. We know that this is a required thing. I'm thinking it's going to be anti-barrier. Everyone's alive too for those levels. Second tablet, okay. Oh, that's another trip to Kuza.
Definitely required, and we know the other 2 tablets are in World 3.
Thanks. We're just still looking for the anti-barrier to get access to Exdeath Castle. So that's got to be in World 1 or 2.
Well, yes, I wouldn't expect it to lock itself.
Okay, so Alastair up to level 27. See some bone mail, probably about to sell it. Get it the heck out of the inventory so it doesn't cause problems down the line. Also, there's an extra vendor in Karnak now after the steamship is cleared to check. 15,000 for bone mail. It's pretty nice considering it sells for like 1 gold in vanilla. Yeah, Nightingale is a better healing. It's just not feeling that you can control that well. But if you're at a certain level interval, it's quite common. You can try spamming animals for healing around level 15, I think, or so. 15 to 20 is, I think, the good sweet spot for Nightingale. It also cures poison and blindness too, so it's got some nice extra stuff that goes along with the healing. Now taking on Carlboss, having no issue here. And Alastair also headed back to Mughal Waterway. This could be the spot. Sandworm bait. I feel like we need to do that. Yeah, we already knew that was going to be there. But, so that means that perhaps the Sandworm Desert is where we need to go to get that anti-barrier.
Ironic when we've already fought the Sandworm.
Yes, well, that's just how it goes in the rando. Everything's mixed up. I personally don't like to see any bosses in their vanilla locations. That just disappoints me.
So who? Gargoyle in the Sandworm location.
Great fight for AoE Sildra right here. He'll be dead in 1 or 2 uses. I think he got him. 1. Very nice. Only
another
thing that we're
flip.
still missing the old anti-barrier. Need to check my notes here. Lonka Meteor, maybe? Oh, there's some other spots too, but...
I mean, the Mughal suit could always show up, right?
Absolutely. Pyromance making an interesting call. Barrier Tower, because see, we have the sub key. It's possible that Barrier Tower has the vanilla sort of anti-barrier key item locked away. That would be interesting. I can't really say that anybody's got a great lead so far because Mal has S1 extra tablet. And actually, I do give Mal the edge because that Apanda fight is rough. But we'll see who finds their way into Exodus Castle first.
Yeah, we're getting to the point of there aren't that many locations left, but it could really be in any of them.
Yeah, I haven't looked over the hints too hard. I feel like all the obvious stuff has been checked. Alastair needs to head to the fleet soon. Hopefully they're aware that that's a required check. Yeah, I think the other hints are mostly referring to later on. Another possibility is the Elder Branch. I don't think anyone has cleared more forest, but we do have the Elder Branch and could go there, and maybe that's what Mal's doing right now. Other than Barrier Tower, get better loot here, potentially. It's a little bit harder boss in terms of hit points, but it looks like that's the call that Mal is making, and certainly it could be the right one. We'll see.
Also, we saw Mal use Shoat, so now we know for sure that he did remember to, use the item at some point out of battle.
Yeah, I recall seeing him activate Golem and Shoat together from the menu at some point. Bahamut at the Greg 2 location should go down pretty easy, unless Alastair is very unlucky. Mostly what happens with early location Bahamut is he only uses Flare rather than Mega Flare, and that can only kill one person. Also, he tends to act very slowly, and often dies before he really gets much of a chance to hurt you. Durability, not that useful, but it was found. There, Bahamut is down. I don't think anyone has checked this big bridge location yet, so we'll see if this some key item or something important. Just Golem.
Which we already had.
Unfortunately, you can't even sell it for money.
No one wants to buy summon spells these days? There's not a black market?
No, Z-Man, nothing new to click quite yet. You didn't really miss anything too important, I don't think.
Yeah, Alastair still needs that second tablet.
Okay, so we do have some divergence here. Alastair going for Barrier Tower while Mal is going for more Forest. I gotta think that maybe one of these locations will have the anti-barrier. They can win these fights. Ooh, an easy win for Mal. Chimera Brain is shoatable. That should do it. I rarely ever see this boss dodge a shoat.
And this wasn't one of those times where it dodges.
At 31,000 hit points and it's down in a one shot. Pretty nice.
Oh, Trench Page, that's useful. We will need to get into Trench.
I missed it.
Yeah, it was the Trench Page.
Oh, okay. Well, we need to go there, so that was not a waste. If it didn't give anti-barrier. Alastair's going to be fighting a couple of dragon fights on the way, so it's going to take a little bit longer to get to the top of the tower. Whereas Mal is also checking Big Bridge, saving Barrier Tower kind of for last, which is, you know, that's kind of the standard move. It's Barrier Tower is kind of annoying. These, red dragons hitting you with atomic fire hurts. They're just, they're not even the boss.
Whack them with a couple of Leviathans.
That's a really good method. Red dragons are weak to water, so Leviathan is one of the best things you can do against them. All right, we're over level 30 on Mal's side. A couple people are at 31. This is what happens when you end up having to sort of search around for that one key item to get into Exodus Castle.
Well, World 2
Exodus at least 29.
Should be nice and easy when we finally see him.
Absolutely. I don't think either of our racers is going to have any problems with Exdeath. His castle. So Mal has a slight edge in levels, but not much. He's probably done, well, we know that he's done that up hand clear, which is an important one on the fleet.
Oh, great. We have another show.
Right there. No. Shoat and Golem show up a lot in this randomizer. That's another thing that makes Summoner so good, is it's actually not very hard most of the time to get some of the very best summons. And the very best, in my opinion, are Shoat, Golem, and Odin. So,
yeah, we have not seen Odin yet, though.
Odin tends to hang out, if he's not, like in the Kuza Castle or something, makes you wait until World 3 usually before you can find him. It's a kind of amazing when he is available early, but it doesn't happen all that much. Gilgamesh 1 down. Oh, Gilgamesh 1 only has like a tiny fraction of the hit points of the location, so this was a nice quick fight. And Pyramid Page. Interesting. Have to look at what's available here. Anyone been to the Lanka meteor? They must have, right? What about the library?
We've done at least 3 meteors. I can't remember if we've done all 4.
Don't have anything written down for Lanka meteor, so maybe they haven't been there. And also, as Pyromance mentioned, the Ifrit location in the library, I don't have anything written there either, so it might be worth checking that out.
Yeah, we definitely haven't done that.
Little surprised that people would choose to come to Barrier Tower before those earlier checks, which are pretty quick and easy. Maybe the runners are a little bit frazzled and sort of moved on to World 2 instead of thinking about, where things could be in World 1. There may be some vague hints that are sort of guiding them, like, getting the sub key, thinking that, okay, well, maybe I have to go to Barrier Tower. I mean, that's definitely something that I do. I chase vague hints,
Hey,
and those can either pay off or not.
look where
Sometimes they
Alastair
lead
is.
to... Excellent. Let's see what's here at this meteor. I don't think anyone has been here yet. This was actually an important spot in the race earlier today. Lanka meteor had a very important key item. I think it might have even been a tablet.
And Ifrit is very much shoatable, so that's a nice easy fight.
Excellent. Does Alastair have Here You Call? That is a good question. It's possible that they have not obtained it, and that's why they haven't gone to... Ooh, but just giving a double lance, so that's a whammy at Lanka meteor. I would go to the library, and do we possibly have Walt's Tower key? I feel like I saw that earlier, but that might have been in the other race. I'm not seeing it in my notes, so maybe we don't have that. I would say library for sure. There's really nothing else that I can see that would be is available.
We're in
It's going to be
Licks?
I think it's going to be a last check library for at least one of our...
Is Alastair just taking a shopping break?
Looks like it. Maybe they were low on some item that they are looking for or feel like they need. It's always nice to have some tents and some cabins. If you haven't found them, it can be really annoying and you can lose some time. So maybe they're looking for something like that. Really nice white magic shop here. Lots of nice utility spells for white mage here in Licks. Mal checking his key items, saying, what the heck is there left to do? Yeah, you can talk to the bard from across the table. That's a possible tiny time save right there. Okay, apparently Mal has not done Catapult or Lanka Meteor, so he's going to be doing both of those. I'm pretty sure Alastair has already done both. Alastair has apparently not killed Stalker yet, so this is going to take a little bit because this is 2 checks. But we have more information than each individual runner has, and we know that, at least from what I can tell from my notes, that the library is actually where they need to end up. This spot right here is, yeah, this is required, Stalker right here. Here you call. There it is. Now, Alastair is probably going to chase that after perhaps clearing the rest of the ship graveyard. Took me a minute to remember what this area is called. Now having no problem with Apocalypse, the fight is already over. With a couple Sildras, and boom. So I still give the edge to Mal. He just has to keep searching. There's not too much left to search. He's going to go to Lonka Meteor after this because it becomes unlocked by winning this fight. Of course, shopping as well. Slow spell, vitality song, good things here in this town. There's the javelins that I was looking for so long ago. Alastair probably... No, actually, I don't think anybody found those javelins. Okay, let me see. Vaughn has a question. What do we know about World 3? We know that the trench has the 3rd tablet.
And we know that the 4th tablet is somewhere in World 3, but that's all we know about that so far.
Yes. So we've got one good hint, and we'll be able to get 3 hints when we go to the trench. Yeah, and sub-required, it's possible that the sub-required hint does not refer to the trench and refers to something like the waterfall or the Sunken Walls Tower. That's a possibility as well. Okay, Alastair hitting Go-Go. Will they think to one-shot Go-Go here? I bet they will, because this is a pretty low point location.
You still have to endure his monologue.
If you're really fast, you can get in before he speaks, but you really have to like hear the go-go music and then like do right on top of your menuing. It's pretty hard. Actually, they tried to attack and just didn't quite get in before Go-Go said his piece. So
Oh, and he just does it with X-Fight.
that was just actually a regular fight with Twin Lance hitting twice on each hand.
Oh, even simpler.
Yeah. Twin Lance does weird things with X-Fight and doesn't hit twice when you use X-Fight, so it's not a very good X-Fight weapon, but it's pretty good for just regular attacks. Looks like Alastair is on their way to the fleet. We know that a panda's waiting, but this is going to be hopefully a little bit easier panda fight at these levels. You got more hit points, more power, more everything. Mal has gone into the library. Looks like he's trying to learn level 5 Doom. He may have somebody who the multiple of 5, and it's nice to have that spell in your back pocket, even though we don't have Blue Mage or the blue ability yet. Running Shoes or Masamune, or how about a preemptive attack from Ninja Vaughn? That happens like a quarter of the time. That would give you some extra time against Go-Go.
And what's
It is
now
level 5 Doom,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then it goes
trying
down,
to. Got
and
it.
then you just need to win the fight, and there you go. You've learned the spell. You just hit the pot in the library here and move on to the boss fight. Okay, Panda, what's the plan? See how rude a panda can be.
Spamming Leviathan isn't the worst thing, and I think Alistair's at a slightly higher level, too.
But yeah, this damage is going to be much more than what Mal had when he was doing this fight.
And Alastair also has a lot more HP to withstand those drain attacks.
Absolutely. Titan in the Ifrit spot. The library should go down pretty easy. Even if you get death quaked, you've got enough hit points to survive that here, so no big deal. Okay, so I've got to think this is anti-barrier. Otherwise, I wrote something down wrong. There it is. Okay, finally. We have access to Extes Castle.
And then we hope that some hint in World 3 gives us more information about page 4. Not page 4, tablet 4.
Yes. There's a good, decent chance of something helpful when we go to the trench and we have to go anyway and get 3 hints. And then there's also the possibility that somewhere along the way we get the Mirage radar, and there's 2 more hints in Mirage as well. Certainly you hope that something out of those would pay off for you instead of having to search around blindly. Mal headed backwards for some... Okay, probably what he's doing is skipping the basement. Maybe he went there earlier and cleared it already? I think at least one of our racers did that. Okay, nice win over a panda and second tablet for Alastair. Now they just have to figure out where it is they need to go to get the anti-barrier. Oh, you're right, Vaughn. Couldn't get in earlier because anti-barrier is required for the basement. So Mal just decided to skip the basement. Certainly at his level, he's strong enough to win, and he knows that the tablets are all in World 3 now. So you don't have to do these fights. Blue ability! Yay! Learning level 5 Doom and then finding blue, it's all paying off. And he does the roulette room perfectly. No fights. Alastair's in World 2 about to do more forest, which we know... I'm going to have to look up what that gave. Trench page, so this is required. Oh, not a bad choice of place to go for Alastair. Bonemail and Thornlit would be nice to get rid of that stuff, Mal. Maybe he'll do some shopping before he goes to trench, or sell it in the trench when he goes there. Time Mage Crystal in Extes Castle. Because our runners already have time 6, I don't expect to see a ton of Time Mage, but also Mal has mastered Summoner and looks like he wants to work on, another mage job just in case. No access to Mirage as far as I know. I have not seen Mirage radar. And that's what you might be missing if you're skipping some of these checks in Extes Castle. You might be missing a Mughal suit, or you might be missing a Mirage radar for World 2 and 3 really good loot. Honestly, Summoner is so darn good. Almost could get by without Blue ability and Blue Mage Crystal in Extes Castle. Okay, game. You're hinting to us that blue is good. I agree.
Mal didn't want to see what was in the fake Excalibur chest.
Doesn't look like it. I mean, that's a really high hit point location. If it had been me, I might have taken one of the easier lower hit point fights instead. Because they're over more quickly, but you never know. It could be like an easy instant kill too. Mal has basically skipped every optional fight in the castle so far, and I think that's totally fine considering his level. It's only there is a slight chance that he's missing out on some loot because of it, but I already know he's going to the trench, so he'll be able to shop there as well. And plenty of loot in the void, and you've got the really strong job in summoner. So right here, Alastair is about to get the trench page karma, and now they will both have it. Yeah, the only thing they don't know is exactly where the final tablet will be. We know that the third one is in the trench, and the last one is in World 3, but we are looking for a hint as to where in World 3. There is a bit of a risk being taken here by Mal, but you might feel like because he cleared so much earlier, it's an acceptable risk, and I, for one, sort of support that.
We've only seen 2 of the 4 pages, right? We obviously have Trench, and I remember seeing Pyramid, but I don't think we've seen either of the other 2.
Oh, you mean the tablet areas?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. I got Falls page written on my notes from the ship graveyard, so that's a possibility. And Trench page. And we have the sub to access both of those, so...
Okay, yeah, now that you say the Falls page, I remember it.
I've worked... Oh, level 3 Flare available for Exdeath in his castle. Really nice. That's nice use of blue magic there by Mal. He gets style points from me. I always like to see that, and it's actually doing a little bit more damage than Bildra as well, or about the same. It looks like Mal, since he has mastered Summoner on almost everyone, just wants a little diversity, slapping Summon 5 on other characters and using other jobs. Totally fine. Okay, so Alastair just completed the library and got anti-barrier and is now probably headed to Exdeath Castle. Maybe some shopping? No. Straight to the castle. Mal finishing up Exdeath Castle here as long as he wins this fight, which I believe he will. Question now becomes, will Alastair full clear this castle or not? Going down to the basement. So it looks like Alastair is going to be better safe than sorry, and doing all of these boss checks in the castle. Easy win versus Galura. Instant kill from Shote. This is nice and quick. Didn't take long at all to win that fight. No key item. It didn't really pay off to do that other than some experience. Figure if Alastair is going to do the basement, they will also do at least one, if not both, of the other X in Exdeath Castle. Mal is now on, now has World 3 access. Agreed with Summoner being slow. If you can haste it, then it's not really much of a bad thing, but that's one of Summoner's very few downsides, is that it has low agility.
And now Mal's circling back through Kezar Castle.
This is probably going to be Mal's final trip here, taking Leviathan finally. Okay. You got all kinds of summons. Raj
I
Fest, I personally like a lot.
I totally forgot Mal was going exclusively off of Sildra and didn't have Leviathan. But yes, that's absolutely right.
Mal might even have another tablet, or is this it? I think this might be it.
I mean, that's clearly it because he went in the first time, and we know the 2 remaining tablets are in World 3.
Oh yeah, that's right. For some reason, I thought he had a third. I don't know if he'll go back with the third or not. We'll have to see about that. Time to head to the trench. Mal saving first, because you do have to do a fight at the entrance to the trench. Alastair used Chemist for a little while. I didn't notice if they learned Mix, though. I saw him put Chemist on 2 people. I feel like it might have only been for 1 fight, or they might have had to reset out of that fight. I don't think they have Mix. Claw is shoatable. Has some magic evade, though. Can be a little bit annoying sometimes when Shoat doesn't like to hit.
Oh, and this is pretty nice. Shiva in the Carbuncle location.
Yeah, not bad at all. You can just AoE summon these this boss to death pretty easily. Shiva's Ice 3 getting split between 2 people, not doing all that much damage. Golem for safety, as always. Looking good over on Alastair's side to win this fight.
So we'll see if this item is anything important.
Okay, so Mal does use Shoat to instant kill the Crayclaw there, and now has door open to get into the trench area. See, Alastair is using a Bard, possibly to learn Sing if it hasn't been found or bought yet, because that can be nice in the end game. I don't know for sure if that's the reason why it's being used, but could be the reason. Also, Bard is fast, so if you want to have a fast spellcaster, a Bard is pretty squishy, low hit points, but good speed. Okay, Shiva's down. What is in this location?
Oh!
Mughal suit. Interesting. Whoa. That could pay off nicely.
Yeah, I chuckled when I saw the copper armor, and then, oh, there's something useful behind it.
Yeah, some of these checks, the rewards just go on and on. Mughal suit. Okay, let's check these hints carefully. No bridges. Val Castle on path. Let's check that out. The Val Castle entrance gave nothing, so this hint means you have to go to World 3 Val Castle basement, the Odin fight, and chase whatever. Either that gives you the tablet or it gives you key items that you need to chase down. So Mal has good information on both of these last 2 tablets now. He just shield in the shop, bought 4 of them. It's really useful for the final fight and any time in general when you might use have a shield using job. Alastair trying to get Shoat to hit Odin. I think with persistence this should work. It might hurt. The edge is going to hurt. But if you keep at it, it should eventually hit. Alright. Looks like a reset. Considering that Alastair's already gotten the Mughal suit, they might just skip this Odin fight. Not sure if they'll bother trying again. There's already a pretty nice payoff, so it's time to just fight Exdeath. Atmos over in the trench. Now, this is a Blue Mage special if you've got the right spells, but I'm not sure if Mal has Dark Shock. Otherwise,
I was also...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking while you were on the Mughal suit, like, we're running out of things the Mughal suit could lead to, though, because we got that hint about Val Castle, which presumably leads to Tablet 4, because what else could it lead to?
Mal does have Dark Shock. The Mughal suit itself is just loot. It doesn't lead to anything at all. It's just good stuff.
Oh, I thought
it leads to
there was something specific in the Mughal. Right. I didn't realize there wasn't progression there. It was just a matter of looting.
Now, all it is sort of like this treasury, which tends to have some nice end game things in it. It's all free, so people are fans of it. Even though taking the time to go there takes a minute or something. It doesn't even slow you down that much. Over on the left-hand side, Mal tried to Dark Shock, and unfortunately it missed. If you can get Dark Shock to connect on Atmos, then you can just use level 5 Doom and kill it. You just need to cut its level in half, and then it becomes visible by 5 because of the way the game ignores decimals. Yeah, you can think of it like the Troy Treasury in Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. Troya is probably not as consistently good as the Mughal village loot. Yeah, it's similar concept.
And Vaughn's pointing out that if we found something like Coin Toss or Freelancer, that would be pretty huge.
Absolutely. I think that those are the things that you would most like to see from there, and they tend to be in that village quite often. The tiering for the rewards there is very high, and the pool of highest tier items doesn't actually have all that much stuff in it. So it seems like those things appear there quite a lot. Well, Windfox, it was a lot of checks to get Exdeath Castle access. A lot of checks, but we are looking good now. Runners, we don't know for sure how long the final chain is going to be, but Mal beats Atmos here. This should give another tablet, so we're in good shape. Somebody might actually get eaten up by Atmos here. This is getting a little tight. 40,000 hit points down.
Well, it didn't really look like Mal was interested in reviving them.
Ooh, out of MP. Okay, do we have Ether? Do we have Elixir? Gonna break Ice Rods, maybe. It's Ice 3.
I love the whole Mughal that's in love there, and we got Bahamut from that.
Yep, very nice to see. What else? Samurai, that's Giltoss and Giltoss. Magic Sword 6, which is really nice too. You can use any magic sword now. Very nice. Freelancer was not given, but Samurai is enough. Combined with our players already having Chemist as well for Giltoss strats at the end, if that's what we want to do. Oh, we do have one Ether. Okay, so Mal has now until Ferris gets sucked in to try and win this fight. Just a question of whether he has enough MP to do the damage required to win. Might have to go Titan, might have to break more rods.
Got a couple more Ethers.
Okay. Ooh, slow 2. Not cool to see that. This fight should be over pretty soon. I hope. This is down in the trench, Wind Fox, with 40,000 hit points. Unfortunately, Mal tried to do Death by Math. He tried... Oh no, the reset. Okay, if he can get Death by Math to work, maybe give everybody blue, he can win this fight quickly. All you need to do is get one Dark Shock to hit, and then you level 5 Doom, and you win.
Oh, it looks like Alastair's...
Going back in. Oh wow, back into Exlith Castle to fight Odin.
For the Odin, yeah.
Surprising. I didn't think that they would care so much about beating every boss along the way. But yeah, maybe that's one of those lingering doubts in your mind or something, you know?
You'd think they'd want to get a few hints out of World 3 first.
Absolutely. You can always come back later in the seed. You don't have to come back right away as soon as you've cleared the castle. But, you know, whatever you want to do. Do we have someone here who is Break Blade available for Odin? That would be the... here we go. Magic Sword, Break. Gonna need to survive True Edge, Kryl. And she does. And this is a win as long as she can hit.
Nice.
Anti-magic bow. That is a womp. At least we know what was there now.
We didn't even get Odin for our trouble beating Odin.
Nope, he's not nice like that. He's not nice like the other item summons, the few item summons are. Okay, what's Mal's plan this time? Are we all blue? Do we all have blue as a possibility?
And what's Alastair gonna get from the sealed weapons this time? Flame sword magic.
Yeah, Karma. That's the advantage that Alastair has. Alastair's behind, of course. Mal, the lead. But we'll see how that pays off at the end. Mal actually knows level 3 flare strats well, and that's a nice, pretty quick way to win the final fight too. And he has the spell. Okay, nice. Got Dark Shock to hit. All we need to do now is get one more blue spell in, and we win.
And we only have one party member down, so that also puts us in a better position.
Fortunately, everyone has been slowed, so it's gonna... The ATB is going to creep very slowly, but it'll work out now. And boom, you're doomed.
Nice.
Nice dark matter for our troubles. That could come in handy in the void. And third tablet, which we knew was going to be there.
So now will Mal just go to Balcastle Basement and see what the progression there is?
According to the hints, I think that is the play. Mal might visit Kuza one more time. Not sure if he cares about what's left in there or not. Oh, are we going down to Sunken Walls? I don't think this is where we need to go. I wonder if Mal had... here's the thing. When you get that Balcastle hint, if you didn't take good notes, you might have thought that when you cleared Balcastle in World 2 that you got a key item that was important. And you don't realize that the hint's actually referring to the other Balcastle check. It's possible that Mal has not realized that, which would be quite unfortunate. LZ Man, The hint was that Bal Castle's on the path of the void, so it could provide key items in a chain that continues from there. You don't know for sure that it would be a tablet.
And meanwhile, Alastair didn't even go for clues or anything. They are just going straight for the trench.
Okay, well, the trench has the clues in the when you talk to the dwarves next to the shop. The hints. So I expect them to check those hints. Nice by Mal taking out the launchers with level 5 Doom, and you can take out Soul Cannon itself with level 3 Flare, and of course lightning damage.
And how's Alastair going to handle Atmos?
Well, I believe Alastair picked up blue, but I don't know if they have the same spells. Mal manually learned level 5 Doom earlier, which was a nice play on his part. I don't think Alastair has that spell. It's going to have to be sleeping Atmos and using a bunch of magic to take it out, I think. It's going to take a little while, but Mal had a long fight that he reset out of anyway, so it could end up something similar. Over on the left side, Mal having a little bit of trouble because Soul Cannon is immune to wind, and so Arrow 3 is not helping. I have to use... You know what? I'm pretty sure Soul Cannon is immune to water as well, so 2 of the powerful summons not available. Yeah, so this is an unfortunate fight for Mal because we pretty much know it's not required. And it's a really high hit point location. It's like 47,000 or so hit points here. It'd take a while.
Okay, so Alastair just got that Bal Castle hint, so we'll see after this what they do with it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough situation. Like, when you're racing, you're trying to go fast. And this hint is a tricky one because we've already checked Bal Castle. So unless you took good notes, you might not realize that you need to go back to the other World 3 Bal Castle location. We'll see. He could do that, Karma. I'm pretty sure it's not frame perfect because I've just mashed and gotten it every time. The tease method to okay, you spent all the time on this boss, we'll give you the win. Did you miss it? I don't know. It's possible that Clear Tonic made the window tighter because I certainly haven't done it in 1.0. It's possible that has been changed.
Okay, Atmos is just spamming Comet like crazy over there.
Maybe it's maybe the free timer win has been removed for all I know. I really don't. Okay, so a similar strategy for Alastair, of course not going for any sort of blue mage stuff, but just doing, strong damage spells. There is Dark Shock, but there is not level 5 Doom. That's what Alastair is checking right now. It's Death by Math is not available to them, so I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Yeah, I'll just mention in case people don't know what we're talking about. Down in the Sunken Walls Tower, you can see there's a timer over on Mal's screen, and if that timer hits 0, at least in the past, you used to the fight would end and you wouldn't die. You could mash real quick, get into your menu, and then warp shard out of the tower, and you'd get the key item, and you'd be given credit for the win, even though that really happened was the timer ran out. It sounds like maybe that has been changed. I don't
Well,
know. We might have to. We'll see.
We're sure seeing enough Python and level 3 flare.
Oh, Mal gets the win. It's not going to give a key item that is required, but no, nothing special down there.
If freed an epee, that was really kind of a waste there.
Yep. We'll see if Mal has some ideas now about where to go. Looks like he's headed in the right direction. This is it. Okay, so just wanted to check the Sunken Walls Tower. It's a quick check if you can get a quick and easy win. Unfortunately, it was a long fight. I don't blame Mal for checking something and thinking that, he knew that sub was required, so he wanted to check another sub location.
How many HP did you say Atmos had?
40,000. Adam, Alastair wins.
Wow, nice. First try.
Maybe made up a little bit of ground there, especially if Alastair does not do that Sunken Walls fight. Things could be a little closer right here. Third tablet obtained.
And then you add in the potential for a much faster Neo X death fight, too.
Right, because of the Mughal village. Yep. Okay, Alastair going for the healing. Will they also grab more stuff? No. Uza not all that great this time. Okay, Odin location I think has 18,000 hit points. Leviathan isn't too bad here. Although you're better off using physical attacks here rather than magical ones. Magic probably is going to draw tidal wave counters here. That could hurt. So the hit points aren't particularly high, but this could be a bit of a scary fight. The chance to counter is 1 in 3, whether it's physical or magical. So you can also just take the risk and hope not to get countered too much. Oh, Alastair seems to be headed to Tool Pass. It's a quick check, but I don't think it's the correct check. So both of our racers did a check after the trench that we sort of know to be unnecessary, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, hopefully this will be a lot faster than that battle in Walls Tower.
Yeah, this one shouldn't take long at all. This is a pretty low hit point location here. Tool Pass is only like 8,000 hit points, and that's split between the two dragons. Okay, there's a tidal wave from Leviathan, and it wiped Mal's party entirely. Yikes. Mal will probably just change up his party comp. Possible. You can throw Thunder Scrolls, you can go all knights or something.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying, physical attacks are probably the way to go here.
Yeah, I would definitely if you have Thunder Rods you can break, that's actually a really nice way to get around those are treated as physical rather than if you were to cast a magic spell, even though the effect is, the Bolt 3 spell. Oh, Adamantite from Tool Pass. That's 2 checks and, some running around. Unfortunate that Alastair's chasing this as well. In a way, it's almost good that Mal didn't get anything good from Sunken Walls. That allowed him to sort of reevaluate the hints that he has and figure out the right place to go. That's right, Karma. And I did see the Doom spell found in the trench, but I don't think we have Black 6 to cast it. At least not yet. Okay, it looks like Mal's team is a little bit more physical this time. You can certainly use a summoner for Golem to block these physical attacks. Ooh, trying to have Leviathan's level. I don't think that is useful. I want to say off the top of my head that his level is like 39 or something, so that's treated like 38 and then goes to 19 and then 9. So you could have his level twice and then you could use level 3 flare, but that's still magic. You don't really even want magic against Leviathan here. 37, my bad. Okay. So that goes to 18. You only need to have one dark shock to hit. Then you can with level 3 flare, but I just don't like that plan in general of using magic. Certainly lowering Leviathan's level could help, just in general, but I don't think this is the way to go about it. I guess Mal has been pretty magic focused. Probably only has like one good sword, so you know that can be rough. You might want to use more knights, but not really have the weapons to do so. He could just get lucky and risk these 1 in 3 chance for countering. Oh, okay.
Nope.
Reset.
He just kind of threw it in there.
I like the ninja's idea, Vaughn, maybe with summon 5 and throwing lightning scrolls, or you could even go with summoners who have throw the scrolls too, but I think the ninjas would be faster. You've got haste 2 on somebody, so you can haste your team. You've got golem, so you can put that up for blocking and safety, and then you just go to town throwing those scrolls. I'm not necessarily saying that Mal has a bunch of scrolls on hand. If he did not note where to buy them, that makes things extra difficult. Where is Mal going? Mal is going to the waterfall. Oh, abandoning the Odin spot. This is a huge turn in the race because now Alastair's chasing floating Lanka is not really hurting them. But will they chase Wall's Tower Key? We'll see here. Mal, I think, killed all of the pearls except one. No, got them all. Okay, my bad. So this is pretty rough. Both racers are a little distracted. I guess Mal probably is just looking for a nice job in the waterfall, a nice physical job that he can use to beat Leviathan with. That might be why he came here. Or the looting more than the boss fight. Okay, and Alastair is going to Wall's Tower. Oh, nice Masamune find. Never unhappy about that. Oh, level 5 Doom, which Mal already had.
But that could be useful for Alastair.
Right, but we don't know if Alastair will even be going to the waterfall area. We'll see.
True. I mean, they've got the page, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, access is available. And you're right, Pyromance. They both did do a unnecessary Wall's Tower move, both above and below. Twin Tanya at Wall's Tower, you're dead. Not enough hit points. I don't think anyone has a dancer either. Mal does like the dancer job. It might have even been available to buy earlier, but I don't think anyone bought it. Fritz Fire from Waltz Tower. I wonder if Alastair thinks that this is a really long chain that they must follow. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It'll be quick though, I mean, these fights are going by pretty fast. Mal is going to do this boss fight. I didn't see everything that Mal picked up. I have a feeling that he did not get a great job for the Leviathan fight. And Magisa is not heavy, but Shote fails to instant kill her.
Whoa.
Another 40,000 hit point location here. Ooh, you can go for
Alastair's
X-Zone.
doing the fork.
Oh my gosh, Fork Tower. This is rough. Is it just me, or does Mal have X-Zone and he could fax this boss to oblivion? I'm not sure. Kind of think
Someone
he
has
has it.
X-Zone.
I might be getting it confused with the race earlier today. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
It's not a guaranteed hit, but it will work eventually, and that's probably going to be better than anything else than, you know, a pure damage fight. Don't have Deathclaw either. You could use Missile, but then that would trigger the Forza appearance, I think, so I don't know if that's the best idea. All right, I'm ready to see somebody get faxed. Let's go. There she goes.
There we go.
Nothing. Nothing from the waterfall. Yeah, you guys are right. EP has been, or Epe has been the trash reward now in a couple of spots, unfortunately. Ooh, Mal
Speaking
buying
of
dancer.
Unfortunately, there's Necrophobia.
Wow. Necrophobia with 2 characters. Rude as heck.
On the bright side, we know that Necrophobia can't be in the Cleft of Dimension.
Yes. So it won't be quite as strong here. And we do have some good summons, which can take out Necro without too much trouble. But these, even just Fire 2... Oh, Flame Ring coming through on Bart's for Alastair. That's nice. Free healing. So Mal got Dancer, and I was thinking maybe Mal would go to try and take on Odin's spot, but no. Mal is going to the Pyramid, which is a lengthy check.
Can we mute
over on
omniscience at
Alastair's
least?
side, if you have summon, you really want Golem up before Necrophobia starts attacking, because man, he hurts. I hope that this is already up. I haven't noticed.
And how many HP in this location?
Almost 20,000.
And that's just Necrophobia, not counting the barriers?
Good question. It used to be, from what I've seen, though, in some of the recent races in 1.0, I think that maybe Necro's HP percentage has been reduced, but yikes. This hits hurt. Question is whether Alastair will try again or go somewhere else. And going somewhere else, which I think is probably a good decision. Look at this, Odin spot, maybe just by chance.
Guess we'll see how they do here.
Also, I think we need an update on the tracking. Alastair got third tablet, right? From the trench?
Yeah.
Defeating Atmos? Okay, thank you, Z-Man. So now, if Alastair can win the Leviathan battle, they will take the lead. Ah, there was a double click, okay. No worries, we got it straightened out. Sildra is great against Omniscient because Omniscient is weak to wind. So Mal at least is through the gate to Pyramid. And maybe is still looking for a good physical job to take on Leviathan with. That's kind of what I hope that he's doing.
Meanwhile, Alastair trying Sildra's strats.
Again, there's the tidal wave counter, 1 in 3 chance when you use magic. Ooh, looks like Bartz was wearing that flame ring from before, and that makes you weak to water, so you take double damage. It's gonna be rough to pull this out, but who knows? Maybe this Masamune X fighting critting 3/4 of the time will work out. Samurai is so great. Look at these dodges. You can't touch her. Oh, Masamune. But, oh, look at that.
Wow!
Never in doubt. Very nice win. And it gives the 4th tablet. Wow, not even a chain.
There's go mode.
Yes. Alastair with...
Took a little over 2 hours, but we got it.
Yeah, it took us a while to get there, but Alastair is into the void first and also has some good endgame stuff, perhaps better than what Mal has. That was some really nice X-Fight Masamune with lots of crits to eke out that victory versus Leviathan. Oh, absolutely. Running shoes in the pyramid would be a great find. Brave Blade, nice strong weapon for Knight. Like that. Still have Thornlet and Bone Mail, which need to be sold off. Ooh, the mixability in the pyramid means you don't have to struggle and have Chemist learn mix. Oh, that's nice for Mal. Alastair doing the standard selling off of everything they won't need in the void, so they have plenty of money to throw. Those would be amazing patches that people in chat are mentioning. If running shoes would always auto-equip, if Aegis Shield would always auto-equip on Optimize. Yeah. All of those things. No, what's interesting is in remakes of this game, none of that has been changed, though. So it seems like it's sort of a design decision to make people suffer from the optimize command. Magic lamp for Mal, which is not really needed at this point, but well, you never know. Maybe it will prove useful somewhere. Medio, really nice to get. Assassin Dagger, really nice to get. I think Mal's probably going to be happy with the haul of loot from the pyramid. The question is whether he'll go back to fight Leviathan after this or not. Level 2 old. With the Mimic Crystal. That can be pretty nice for a quick endgame fight. The ability to mimic your mixes saves a little bit of menu time. You're buffing everybody up. That is an intentional fall by Mal so that he can grab more loot. I did a thing when I was in my race where I did not pick up the final chest in the pyramid just because I thought it might be a monster in the box, but I do not clear the basement of the pyramid, so the fight was actually down in the basement because the other racer did check that chest and it was not monster in the box. Oh, Avis Killer. Okay, yep. Watched the VOD and I saw that people are a little bit confused by what I was doing there, and you know, I absolutely could have checked it, but I didn't want to risk it, that's all. Losing the fight at the top of the pyramid is a big time loss because the save point is so far back, so didn't want anything messing me up before the that fight.
And hey, we've got a panda's not as evil twin, Biblos.
Yeah, Karma, I think you're right. I think it was the cats. And I don't even remember what I had, but if I had like decent AoE summon, it would have been free. Yep. So it would be really nice to have food in here for Biblos, but actually Mal should have at least, you know, like missile or level 4 quarter. Will do lots of damage. Use those things. X Zone is a possibility, although I think the Magic Evade might scale and make that a little bit tough to hit. So, Alastair, why are we in the library? I'm confused. No, this is the Void Library. My bad.
This is the Void Library. Unfortunately,
I think I may have looked away and missed the Void Forest fight. What boss was over there?
Shoot, I'm blanking already. I mean, I saw it. It was nice and fast.
Yes, it was Abductor and got showed. Okay, now I remember. This Callow fight should not be a big deal. It's not that many hit points here. It's like 22,000 or so.
Yeah, the thing is, Faris's weapons aren't doing any damage.
Ooh, Mirage Radar for Mal. As if he needed any more riches. It's nice to be able to just ignore Califisteri's wall she puts up. Okay, Mal headed back for a rematch against Leviathan. Califisteri has some defense.
There we go.
Lots of bosses in this game. one of those advantages of X-Fight being that even though it attacks 4 times at half power, it ignores defense. So a boss like her with lots of defense, it's pretty good. And I believe X-Fight, I want to say it also bypasses her drain counter unless I'm mistaken there. I know aim bypasses it. All right, round 2, or maybe even round 3. I think it might be round 3 here. Mal versus Leviathan.
Yeah, this is round 3. Who couldn't get the sword dance, had to get the mystery waltz.
I assume that Mal is using equipped swords, Brave Blade on the dancer, so 2 sword dances should win the fight, I think. That's what I would expect. I didn't look to see him setting up. There's one, and oh no, we're not looking at the Brave Blade. We're looking at a different weapon. Maybe, not sure what knife the dancer is using. Al probably wanted to X-Fight with the knight, but the knight unfortunately got paralyzed for a little while.
Oh, there's Freelancer Crystal in the void. Alastair just got it.
Nice. All kinds of options with Freelancer involved. Carbuncle guarding the save point. Ooh, nice
that flame ring's doing nice.
As you can see, those Carbuncle spells hit pretty hard, but not well.
Down goes Faris.
If he's gonna focus one person, then okay, fine. You want to hit the summon timing right here. This should work now. Oh, and Mal wins. Mal beats Leviathan. And
Nice,
gets
so that'll be
final tablet.
Yeah, that's his go mode.
Mal needs to sell off some stuff, so Alastair has a significant lead here in the void, but there are still 3 void bosses that need to die before the final fight is available, and there's a chance that one of them could be a wall for some reason.
And also, with Ivy Karma making that joke about running shoes, we still haven't seen those.
That's right. I have not spotted any running shoes. They could be for sale in Mirage, but I don't think Mal's going to even go there. Well, he'll probably go there to sell stuff and maybe check some shops. I don't know.
Oh, and Mal decided to turn in all the tablets and just collect all of the sort of legendary items.
My guess is that he's doing that for money. He's going to sell things so that he has lots of money to throw at the end. But wait, let's see. Mal he never got Mughal suit, so he doesn't have Samurai or Giltos.
Right.
So that doesn't make sense to me then that he would be doing this for money. I'm not sure. Maybe he just felt that he knew he'd only used like 2 of the tablets worth. Wanted more stuff. Yeah, doesn't have it. King Raptor here is consumable. I think that maybe if Alastair has mix, actually Mal that got mix in the pyramid, Alastair might have learned mix naturally from Chemist, but I'm not positive. Could reset and do a death potion here against Wing Raptor, but either way, it should be going down pretty soon. Exactly, Dr. Randolph. Mal could very well be going to Mirage and for shopping, but only.
I mean, Mal is shopping in Mirage.
Yeah, but I just feel like it's almost not necessary. Maybe I would go and look for running shoes there, but Mal has a lot of powerful stuff already. But you know, 3 thornlets to sell, plenty of stuff to sell, that's for sure. Alastair is past Wing Raptor, headed to the Halicarnasso spot. The trench babies,
here's the triad.
the triplets, the piggies, the 3 little pigs. What you like to do here is Odin them. You can actually use Lamp Odin if you don't have the spell. You have to lamp 3 times and Odin comes out 3rd. Otherwise, there's actually a number of things you can do. Guild Toss, not a bad idea. Alastair certainly has the money, extra money. That.
Fun fact, the trio there are named after 2 moons of Neptune and a moon of Mars.
Yeah. Very cool. The question isn't why are they dressed like superheroes. The question is why isn't every other boss dressed like superheroes? Actually, super villains, but whatever. Oh, Samurai Guild Toss, please. Just win the fight with Guild Toss. No.
How much money does Alastair have?
I think that Kryle probably has an Aegis shield on, maybe. If it was optimized. Let's see what happens here. Yes, did not get stoned, but reset the fight anyway. Because I was going to say you could Guild Toss with her. Anyway, I think it'll work out second try. Alastair will make some adjustments for the French beast fight.
So how did Phobos wind up coming back to life there?
Oh, what happens is when you kill one of those pigs, then when another one gets a turn, they notice it, and they revive the one that was missing, and they do a delta attack against your team, which will stone you unless you have petrification immunity. They get revived at the same hit points as the one that revived them, though, so over time their overall hit points should get lower and lower, and you can win the fight even if you end up taking it kind of slow. Guild Toss would probably do massive damage to all of them at once and end the fight pretty quickly and easily. That would probably be what I would try. I don't think they have super high defense. I could be wrong on that, but I would try Guild Toss at least.
Okay, Alastair's trying Guild Toss. Oh, 6,900.
6,900 on each one. Pretty nice.
Of course you had to say nice.
The 3 little pigs are tricky because they all have different agility values, as Pyromance mentioned. So trying to sync them all up is actually a little bit extra difficult. I think one more Sildra probably will do it here, or maybe it'll be another Guild Toss. There we go.
Easy peasy.
Pay to win is a good strategy. That's right, Dr. Randolph. The Delta attack never misses, but it is reflectable, and they are susceptible to petrification themselves. So you can bounce it back onto them. That is a pro strat. Meanwhile, Mal taking on the very forgettable abductor, and it's dead already. In Tanya's spot, how rude is it? Okay, Arcuavis is just sort of a slow fight, but it shouldn't be too dangerous. 5 forms. If you overkill any of the forms, it doesn't really matter. It just unlocks the next one. And if you can put out enough damage quickly enough, you can actually do it so that Arcuavis never even takes a turn. So I don't think Alastair is going to have any trouble with this fight here. Yeah, you have to divide 50,000 by 5, so each of these forms has 10,000 hit points. It take a full round to kill each form. Ooh, nice sword dance. I think that was with a man-eater, because it was extra juicy against Calipisteri. He's both human and beast. Don't ask me how. I guess she's half and half or something. Vaughn, I did see the slash ability found somewhere, but I just don't think anyone has it equipped. You can do some really crazy things to Arcuavis using slash. Forms 2 and 4 are not heavy, and they go through trigger the death animation for the entire fight, so you get Arcuavis actually crumbles downward into your menu before you end up actually defeating it. It's very weird, but also kind of fun to do. And Callow is down. Mal is not having any troubles in the void yet. Let's think a little bit about the final fight. We know Alastair has Samurai, Guild Toss. Not sure if they have Mix, because the early chemist use was so brief. I'm just not sure it's available. They also used Bard for a while. It's possible we could see some Sing strats to buff. Whereas Mal does not have Guild Toss strats, I don't think. Knows how to do level 3 flare level manipulation strats, which is quite good as well. Not sure if he'll go for that or not. Oh, Vaughn, you tested the Arcuavis on GBA. Goes behind your menu. See, so the menu gets priority and you kind of can't see all of the boss. That's interesting. Yeah, I know Mal has Mix. He picked that up in the pyramid, but I don't think he has Guild Toss. So, you know, Mix with level 3 flare is enough to beat the final.
There we go.
Okay. Oh, Alastair got maelstrommed, but got through that fight anyway. Very good. As Mal turns Carbuncle to stone. Okay. I'm expecting a run back to save and set up for the final fight here from Alastair. Mix and summon is good, and it's pretty simple too. Yep. Yeah, I couldn't tell you like in minutes how far ahead Alastair is at this point, but it's a pretty significant lead. At least one X-Death wipe kind of would have to happen, I think, for Mal to catch up.
And with a couple 100,000 gil, that should be plenty for Guild Toss.
Oh yeah, plenty of money. That's why Earlier when it was the three little pigs, I was like, oh, Gil toss here because you got so much money. You're still going to have plenty for Ned. Yeah, and I don't see Mal with any sort of quick kill method against Arcuavis either. Like, you can do funky blue strats, like you can level 5 Doom the last phase of Arcuavis, and you can even use Dark Shock to level 5 a couple of the other phases, but still gonna take a while. Oh, I see a dual-wielding freelancer over here on Alastair's side. Seeing a couple mimics, couple freelancers. Two mixers. That would make sense. From what little I saw of the chemist use, I think there was only 2 people who were chemists at all earlier. It seems like maybe they learned mix for this final fight. Yeah, you can just mimic those mixes. That'll work. And then mimic your guild tosses later, too. Somebody has... I think... Yeah, Alastair has Masamune, so somebody has that for first turn and even for beast casting, if necessary. See what Mal does against the 3 little pigs. Tries to slash them. Chance of that hitting all 3 at this location is very low. In fact, it missed all 3. If Mal has that lamp, that's what I would do if I were him. 3 uses of magic lamp. But just like Alastair, this one might take losing the fight and thinking about it a little bit, and then coming back for easy win.
So Alastair just found Odin a little bit late for it to be useful.
Yeah, that's what you hate to see, is Odin on the, deep in the void where you don't need it anymore. That's a shame. These piggies are not messing around right now. I think Mal is gonna have to try something else against them. I'm pretty sure he picked up Magic Lamp, but I could be confusing the 2 racers. Or maybe he wants to save the lamp for the end. That's another consideration. Okay, here we go. Head opens with a white hole, which is very rude. We can fix that. Oh, summon and X magic. Everyone, look out for the mix plus X magic glitch. Alastair is aware of the glitch. We talked about it at the end of their last race, but X magic can be tricky when you're mixing. So it's a little bit scary. I hope that doesn't backfire on them. If people are unaware of how this glitch works, I guess I'll just mention that if you mix even just once in a fight, and then you try and use the X magic ability afterwards, having used the mix can mess up your X magic targeting. It can turn, if you were to do something like cast armor on yourself and then try and cast an offensive spell on the boss, it would actually armor the boss instead. There are ways to exploit it on your own team as well, which is kind of fun. Like you can armor your whole team at once, which is not possible normally. Ooh, there it is, the quad shell. So Alastair is actually using the glitch to their benefit, showing off how to use the mix plus X magic glitch properly and getting multi-shell up on everyone. That's a swag move right there. So Alastair is very much aware that the glitch is in effect here. Mal has Carbuncle up, which is an interesting idea. As was suggested before, if you kill a piggy and bounce the Delta attack onto the others, then that's one way to try and take them out. I would love to see that because it's pretty rare that you would see that technique used to defeat them. Okay, using some X-Fight for the tree form here. These Meteo rolls haven't been all that kind for Mao, unfortunately. Been a little bit low. Oof. Those spells hurt. That tidal wave hurts. Now that is some pretty nice damage with X-Fight and probably Chicken Knife. Okay, so Mal tried to use Big Guard but forgot that he still had Reflect up, so that became a quick reset. But yeah, we're close to the end here, Kig. This is head for Alastair, and Mal is at the Halicarnassus spot. Okay,
and down goes Ted.
How much gill tossing is available to us here? I didn't really see much used at all in the first phase.
I don't think it was used at all unless I missed it.
Yeah. I could have sworn... Oh, but there's mixing, Karma. Did we not mix and mimic the mixes, or are we short a mix ingredient? Okay. This could be a rough fight. We'll see how it goes. I like to think that Alastair has the resources to win regardless. But it might not be as easy as I thought. Okay, Mal is still going for Slash. And then maybe putting up Carbuncle right away afterwards. You can kill one or two and then get one or two Delta attacks. Could work. It's just that in this location, Slash is not very reliable. Definitely worked though. Ult 3 is a great thing actually because that's doing nice even damage to all three of the piggies at once.
Okay,
I like that
X-Magic
idea.
Holy is only taking out like 5,000 at a time, and
There's some gill tossing. That doesn't hurt. Does
yeah, just
Alastair have
too
the
low
lamp?
level.
I think Alastair does not have the lamp because Mal found it in the pyramid. So the back part is going to be a bit of a problem. Casting spells and... Ooh, haste to the back. Mix plus X magic glitch. Strikes. You have to be very careful using Holy as well with that glitch because if your targeting is wrong, it'll actually crash the game. That mix can do nasty things to the game itself. And that would be a wipe and another attempt
Oh, Krill's guild boss was pretty nice there. It's just Faris's that's weak.
Yeah, she's got a really nice high level, so we're getting there. We're going to see an Almagest soon. And I think the team is all shelled, so they're going to be okay, except Lena, her hit points just a smidge lower than what you would like. And Mal wins against the piggies. Very good. You want like 800 hit points to be safe against Almagest. I think it'll probably do like 750 or so. And Lena might die. Let's see. Ooh, nice Aegis shield blocking the fire 3. Ooh, yep, and Lena did die. Did 724 damage, killed her by 12 hit points. Very close. And maybe Alastair doesn't care anymore about Lena. I bet one part just died. Or maybe they all did. I think that's a GG.
That looks like game.
Here we go.
And that is an official time of 2:45:36.
Hold off the win for Alastair. We'll get them in on the mic here shortly, once they've had a second to catch their breath and ask them their impressions of the seed. Meanwhile, Mal working on Arcuavis. Meteor is a great way to do a lot of damage, so this will work. I want to be careful doing elemental spells here because different forms absorb different elements. Ooh, Mal gonna show off some slash strats here against Arcuavis. We may see a menu boss after all. Okay, so it looks like Arcuavis is dying here, but that's actually just one of its forms. Next one's going to come back and be shaking and down low the menu. Yes, here we go. The fight continues. It's not really over yet.
I think Alastair avoided that form.
Alastair just didn't do this special technique to create this funny scenario of menu boss. That's what happened. The forms, only form change that is shown is the transition between form 4 and 5. The first 4 are not shown at all. The only indicator that you have that there's any form change at all is just that there's like a hesitation in the ATB, and that's the other form coming out and starting its turn. Oh, and we do it again. So now he's going to go even further down into the menu. He's still not dead yet. There he is, menu boss, blocking. He's cheating. He's trying to block the player from seeing their own controls.
And I love that King Tycoon's voice just somehow comes out of nowhere here in the void.
Yeah, King Tycoon is just bad. Oh, Mal forgot it's level 5 Doom you got to use here, but Mal does have blue, I think.
Yeah, Mal definitely has level 5 Doom. I guess it's just a matter of did he equip blue magic.
Okay, I see Alastair in the post-race waiting room. They can join us at any time. Hello.
Hello.
GG to you.
Thank you. I for sure thought I was behind after, putting off Stalker for so long and also
They can
going
join
back
us
to
at
kill
any
Odin.
time. Hello. Oh, you two
GG
had a
to
rough
you.
time with this seed. A lot of running around. It
Yeah.
was pretty rough.
You were actually behind for a lot of it. The game changer was the Leviathan fight.
I forgot where Leviathan was.
Leviathan's
Odin
at the Odin
spot.
location, yeah.
Oh yeah,
You
I
had
think
those
we
nice
got there
samurai.
first.
yeah. Where Carl just clutched it out.
That was a great win. I think Mal took 3 tries to beat that
Oh.
boss. Yeah. And both of you took a while before you realized that was where you're supposed to go. It was one of those tricky
Yeah.
Mal Castle on the path hints, and you thought you had already sort of done the important part.
Yeah.
But,
Ugh.
got through it.
Yeah. God, that early game was brutal.
The Stalker was a rough spot, and it was required. The immediately coming, once you had access to World 3, down to the trench was the way to go, but I'm not sure if everybody went there right away.
Yeah, I think all I did was a quick shopping trip, and then I beelined there. Well, after killing Odin, because I just did not want to leave that behind.
Yeah, that was a
So
revenge. That was a revenge fight, right?
Yeah, I was supposed to say, if something's there, I'm just otherwise never coming back here. So.
Yeah, and you know what? Mal actually skipped all the Exdeath Castle optional fights, so he never got the Mughal suit. So you had the advantage for Giltos and Samurai there. Yeah. And I was happy to see you abandon Fork Tower also, once it was a pain in the butt.
Oh yeah, I was like, after Necro just murdered me at his end phase, I was just like, we're just not coming back here until I have to.
And that was the right move, yeah. Glad to see you didn't spend too much time there. But we've got Mal is now about to start the final fight, so feel free to hang out and bring up anything else you want to talk about. Oh, let's talk about Mix plus X magic glitch.
Yeah, I didn't think it would persist through the phase transition.
Okay, that's what happened. Yeah, you were using it well. You showed off the multi-shell on the team, which was great. And then
I accidentally hasted the magic piece.
Yeah, it persists through, unfortunately. I was a little worried because Holy was involved in that particular sequence, and if things go wrong with Holy in that glitch, it can actually crash the game. So I was afraid it might crash, but it didn't. So that was lucky.
Thank God.
I think it has to be like Holy as second spell instead of the first one can cause that, and you did it in the right order, so that worked out okay. So that was cool. I'm glad that you were able to utilize that. Not many people have seen that. I think it's probably the first time we've seen it used to your advantage in the tournament.
Yes. So I was like, wait a minute. Let's say I was just reminded because of the last race where I accidentally hasted Ted. So I was like, I should just use this to my advantage and just shell everyone at once.
Yeah, well, that's great. You recognized what happened to you before, and then you did a little extra reading up on the glitch, and then you used it to your advantage. So, I mean, that can't ask for any more than that.
Yeah.
Hey, Drossi, do you have any memories from the race that you wanted to talk about?
Well, did we talk about how important that carbuncle location was in the Mughal suit in the end?
Yeah, I mean, that is, unless Mal has, a different plan lined up, certainly getting Freelancer and Samurai and Giltos all right away, you don't turn that down.
Yeah.
Oh, Mal gonna check. He's faking out Shinryu.
Come on, do it. Okay. It'll be fun.
Is your team fast enough now? Oh, level 5 Doom. Cool. From Shinryu. Anyway, this is a free run.
Yeah.
But if it had been a
Shinryu's
strong...
abilities randomized too, or...
Exactly, yes. Otherwise, it would have been an opening tidal wave that would have
that's what I thought.
probably killed everyone. Yeah.
I knew they changed up their weaknesses. Didn't know if their actual abilities and whatnot were also changed.
Yeah, the abilities are randomized and the weakness is randomized as well for Shinryu and Omega. And so it's a wild time to fight them because you really don't know what the heck is... even if you know the weakness, you don't know what they're going to do for attacks.
Yeah.
Mal is trying to entertain everyone, so we can all appreciate that in chat. Get to see Shinryu for a moment. Let's see what Mal's strategy is for Ted here. Singing. All right, I see hero and speed song, so we're going to be super fast and max level. Is there any mixing? Yes, I did see the mix ability as well.
Ferris had it.
And I see some blue, so we could do level 3 flare strats. Make everything divisible by 3.
Oh, where was Mighty Guard?
Oh, good question. I don't recall. Maybe, yeah, probably in the pyramid. Okay, so Karma sent us a logistics message saying that you, Alastair, get a week off for winning this race. And you will face the winner of Kig versus Francois in week 4.
Okay.
Francois. And Mal will be playing me in the losers bracket or the lower tier bracket probably next week. Thanks for the info there. That's important to know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mal went to the waterfall area as well. That might have been where Big Guard was.
Yeah, that'd also be a good spot for it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mal had so much trouble with the Leviathan fight that I think he went to those locations because he felt like he needed a better job, a better weapon.
Thanks, Karma.
Just so he could win that one fight.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
I wasn't gonna really add anything other than he did win. What were you gonna say?
I was honestly amazed that Cryo clutched that out.
Oh yeah, that was a highlight of the run for me.
Yeah.
I think one of those X fights you got at least 3 crits with the Masamune, which is pretty sweet.
It was a Tempest.
Tempest. Oh, Tempest has a little bit higher crit rate and higher overall damage, so there you go. Nice.
Yeah.
Strongest katana in the game. Might as well X-fight with it and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Plus, she also was at low health and she was dodging and blocking attacks too, right? Like, you just can't hit the samurai. That's one of the great things about samurai is that inherent evade, and then you put a good shield on and you become somewhat untouchable. Yeah. Really nice.
And
okay, so Mel, I believe, is doing level 3 flare strats here. You give 10 levels to the tree, and it becomes level 87, and that's divisible by 3. And actually, Ed will see something similar.
Yeah, speaking of level 3 flare, I was initially planning on level 3 flaring regular X-Death. Then I forgot to slap blue on someone. I was like, well, this is back to summon spam.
Yeah, getting everything just right for the final fight does take some fiddling around, and you're trying to go fast, so it's very easy to forget like one ability, one important ability that you might want.
Yeah, what's the Castle X Death one I was talking about?
Oh, for that one. Oh, okay.
Because, yeah, he starts vulnerable to level 3 Flare.
That's right. Mal actually used level 3 Flare there, but your strategies worked. You had enough power. Damage was quite similar versus like Sildra and Leviathan. It was just about the same as level 3 Flare anyway.
Yeah, Summoner Star is a favorite of mine.
I love Summoner. It's like powerful and relatively simple job to use. Yep, really, really good. But it was not. It was not an easy early game. You guys full cleared. Gosh, did you full clear World 1 almost?
Yeah, I think the only thing I didn't do was Biblo Spot.
Yes. Yep.
Because I'm tired of key item chains.
It was just really hard to find the anti-barrier. I think it was. I had to go to the library finally to get it. But that's you both struggled to find it though. Like, Rossi, do you remember who got to Exdeath's Castle first?
Yeah, that was definitely Mal.
Okay. Yeah.
As I was kind of alluding earlier, Mal was ahead for most of the race right up until that Leviathan fight.
Yeah.
Yep, that was a key turning point for sure. Yep.
And we saw Mal skip the carbuncle chest in Exdeath Castle, and we're a bit surprised that, with 2 tablets outstanding and we didn't know necessarily what locked them, he was just skipping the optional battles, and then you went for them, and getting that Mughal suit was definitely key.
Yeah, I mean, it was known that both of the last 2 tablets were in World 3, and so the Exdeath Castle fights were optional.
I must have missed the one about the Odin Spot tablet.
Very possible.
It was a very vague tablet 4s in World 3 hint really early in the game, maybe even in Tycoon.
Oh wait, I think I probably just thought it was the trench tablet. Because I just forgotten which tablet number it was talking about.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I think what sort of really helped seal the deal was when you actually go to the trench and you get that specific hint from the dwarf there about going to Bal Castle. But, we have the luxury of sitting back and watching and writing down all the hints. It's a lot harder to keep track of the hints when you're actually doing the racing and keep them straight in your head while you're thinking about everything else that you're supposed to be doing. So, I think this seed was a great example of that. Like, the hints were not simple, and that made it extra hard.
And meanwhile, those level 3 flare stats on Ned seem to be paying off pretty well, and I think that does it for Mal, in fact.
Yes, Mal has finished. GG's to him. Level 3 flare strats are one of my favorites. I'm happy to see somebody use those.
And he gets an official time there of 3:03:04.
Maybe we can make it 3:03:03 just because.
Whoever has to record the races can just adjust it by a second, right?
Sure. Everybody gets to see the really, really long Final Fantasy V ending, still playing over on Alastair's side. And whenever Mal catches his...
Yeah, he said in the race chat that he needs a moment. I don't blame him.
Possible extra stress, like sometimes at the end I kind of need to go to the bathroom but can't.
Yeah.
Gotta finish the seed first. Things like that happen. This was, a pretty long seed, so I don't blame him at all. Now, who was it? I think both of you killed Gogo, but who was it that had like scarier Gogo fight? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know, because I think I just smacked him once with a double lance, and that did the trick.
Yes. You had maybe even 2 double lances on your ninja or
Yeah,
something.
I think I did.
It added up to enough damage. Yep. Mal's here. GG.
GG.
Hello, GG.
Oh, what
I
are your thoughts
apologize
on the seed?
for that. Yeah, it's the importance of taking proper notes. I really felt behind at the beginning, and then I started panicking and not writing things down, and that I feel like that cost me.
Yeah, you both had to search a really long time to get into Extes Castle. Those 2 key items, especially the anti-barrier, I guess it was really elusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally the last location did.
I'm pretty sure I did too.
Yes. Mal, you were ahead going into Extes Castle. Alastair struggled at Stalker at the canal.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
that
you
that
ran
was rough.
through without doing any fights because they weren't required. So you were in good shape. It was actually the Leviathan spot. I'm sorry, the Odin spot that had Leviathan.
Yeah, that
really burned you.
Yep. I should have gone back to get a solution to that earlier. The worst part is there's not that much HP. I probably could have just, focused on just getting my warrior to X fight, but I was being dumb and using summons and having him counter it all the time, and me not realizing that that's what he was doing. So
yeah,
Leviathan can be rough.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this seed put me up against a few bosses that I never really had problems with before, that then gave me issues.
Yeah, and when that happens, then you're sort of caught off guard and not sure what to do, so that makes it extra rough. Yep.
Yeah. A lot of.
But did you
silly
raid
mistakes too.
did you raid some of those loot areas just looking for better stuff for that fight, like the pyramid and the waterfall?
I had no idea where to go.
yeah.
To be honest, I had zero clue that I was supposed to go to to the Odin spot, because I didn't write my notes properly, so I didn't know what I had gotten at Battle Castle. So when we got that hint, I was like, well, I don't know what it was there. What did I get? And we had one about Karnak being on the path, and I'm like, I didn't write that down either. So what was that? I was like, I thought that was Submarine Key, but what if it was Fall Page? And then...
Yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense. I mentioned to Alastair before you came on that those of us watching and writing down all the hints are not nearly as stressed as the people who are actually racing and thinking about a bunch of other things too. So it's very easy to fall into losing track of your hints, and so that makes complete sense to me. I've sort of live in fear myself of making a mistake with hints in a race, because it's very easy to do. These hints were like helpful, but you had to write them all down, and you had to like work out the logic. Otherwise, you were gonna be searching around. Yep.
And also actually remember what you got from the abductor spot.
Yeah,
I thought it was
I write them all down because there's no way I'm remembering them all.
Which one is that? Is that Tycoon? The abductor spot?
The Bal
Castle Gate.
Oh, right. Yes, yeah, I don't even have that. Like, almost nothing in World 2 was written down. So it really punished me. It really, really punished me.
In my notes, I just have an X for Bal Castle Gate, so that means it was nothing important there. And so the hint about Bal Castle being on the path became World 3. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty disappointed. But
it was entertaining. You guys, We're all over checking all kinds of different things, different strategies other than, the nice summoner start. Of course, you
Yes.
both took good advantage of that.
Yeah, with that Sildra and Mua was nice. But
Yeah,
I think
Lots of
I
good
depended on
stuff.
that too much.
I didn't even see what was in the other crate, so it's just like, Sildra? Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I did as well. Yeah, no, I probably should have picked up like Dancer earlier on, when we started getting all those tiaras and stuff. But I don't know. I just really didn't have. I feel like I didn't have any good weapons. Mainly probably because I sold all those flame whips. Probably should have kept them all because had like 40 of them.
Nah, I mean, right, that the physical weapons, there weren't too many great ones. Alastair getting the Mughal suit in Extus Castle gave some nice stuff.
Yeah, I had Samurai and Giltos there.
Oh.
And I'd found a Tempest somewhere.
Yeah, I got that as well.
And that's what carried you through the Leviathan fight at the Odin spot. So that was a key difference.
Yeah, Krell just clutched it out with a block and the Samurai dodge. Like, she was at 140 HP and no one else was alive, and just managed to kill him at the last second.
Block and dodge as
Ferris
well.
was alive too. 40 HP. Okay, that's why I thought she was dead in my memory, because she had just like no HP left.
It was an extremely close fight, even with a strong attacker there. So yeah, you're right. I think that physical jobs were sort of lacking a little bit in this seed and the gear for them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Mal, we talked a little bit about the schedule before you came in, but I will mention again, I guess it's you versus me next week.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that's no pressure there either.
Yeah, and then Alastair gets a bye versus Francois, I believe.
The winner of Kigalis and Francois, you can see that match on the schedule
yes,
here.
thank you. Sorry,
this
right
Sunday
in front
at
of my
2.
face.
So you'll play the winner of that match in 2 weeks.
Speaking of our schedule, upcoming career day races, there'll be looks like nothing tomorrow, but Saturday we've got one.
Well, there is one tomorrow at 6. I guess it hasn't made it onto the Randomania schedule, but we are planning to have Doc Warner against HXC Jetters at 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
All right, I did sign up to do commentary there, but we haven't. We don't have all the pieces in place to advertise that quite yet, but it'll probably happen. Chances are good that it will happen. And then a Sunday race between, as mentioned before, between Kig and Francois. I did not write off Kig. Just forgot. Anyway, anyone have any final thoughts? We've been here for quite a while. Maybe we should try and wrap it up.
No, I just want to say again, GG, congratulations to Alastair. They did well. I'll get them next time. That's for sure.
Next time, Gadgets.
You can always hope for a rematch down the road.
But yeah, it was without Giltos, I could have gone with summons max level. I ended up going with the level 3 flare for fun.
I'm always happy when somebody does that strat, Mal. And also you gave us menu boss or Archeo Avis. So you entertained everybody very nicely.
At that point, I had already seen the GG. So I was like, let's What the heck? Let's give them a show. Give you a little Shinryu peek and
Yeah, I appreciate that. You did that extra
You're
stuff
man of
for
the
us. That
people.
was fun.
that's right. But next time. We'll do better next time.
Definitely. Well, thanks everybody for coming by. Thanks to the racers and the behind-the-scenes crew. And whenever Karma wants, I think he's probably going to cut the stream.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
Later.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Have a good one.